Well, who'd have thought? My guest is Mark McGhee. I can remember Mark playing as a footballer. I can remember you as a manager. But I can never remember you as someone who is a gamer. But suddenly, Puzzler's Name Game is your brainchild.
Yeah, well, I've always been someone who's enjoyed Scrabble and word games, Sudoku, all those sort of games, crosswords. And this was a game that goes all the way back to our playing days when, bored out of our minds, and the bus created a game that passed the time between Aberdeen and Glasgow, and resurrected it recently in the last sort of few years down at Mar Hall with Gordon Strachan, where we got a little bit bored of Scrabble. We did another game, and I came away thinking, actually, there might be mileage in this, and from that point on, we launched, the name game into the market, and it's been received brilliantly. Yeah,
well, I have to say to you, Mark, on an individual basis, just trying it, the great word that I think every gamer wants to hear is addictive. And it is addictive because it kind of forces your mind into the celebrity of today, and it also actually tests you on your spelling.
Yeah, well, it's not just about celebrity of today. There's sports, sportsmen, historical figures, anyone at all that's going to warrant the sort of level that, for instance, if you get a mention in Wikipedia, the likelihood is it'll be a correct answer. But again, it's anyone can play it. The children can play it because they can pick and choose the initials that represent the TV characters and the people that they know. So it's across all ages, and it is challenging. As you've seen yourself, it's not straightforward. People look at it sometimes and think it's going to be easy. It's not easy.
Okay, let's get to the crux of the matter for any gamers out there, or anybody who just loves to play something to while away a few minutes, a few hours here and there. Tell us, what's the background to it? How do you play it, and how do you win?
Yeah, well, the game that's been published now has 3 versions within the game. There's an endurance, which allows you to answer 500 sets of initials over as long a period as you like. So you can take your time doing that one to achieve as high a score as you possibly can, which goes on a global scoreboard. Then you've got the quickfire game, which is a 5-minute game which is timed. And the idea is that you score as many points and score as many right answers as you can in that 5 minutes while the clock is ticking. And the third one that's on it, the hot seat, is one where you and I have the opportunity to play one answer, and then I pass the device to you. You do one answer, you've got time, and it's all timed, and if you run out of time, it passes back to me, and it's just a case of who scores the most out of the 16 sets of initials that are presented on an initial scoreboard.
And of course, that's the real key to it all. You're just basically looking at blocks with initials on it, and you've got to try and put a name that is recognised. It could be regionally, it could be, in one particular country, or globally. Yeah, well,
the game is out in 6 languages. It's out in English, German, French, Spanish, Italian, and Brazilian Portuguese. All of the advertising within the game is regionalised. So if you buy the English version in India, you'll get Indian adverts. You won't get adverts from Scotland or from England. All of that's kind of taken care of as best we can at the moment, and that will continue to be upgraded. But the answers are the same. The level of database in there is huge. So just about every conceivable answer that meets the criteria for a right answer should be in there.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that it will grow arms and legs once you start to come up with different categories as the popularity of this, and I'm almost certain it will become really popular. But over and above that, I think the other key element that a lot of people will like is it's not specifically geared towards a certain type of person, a certain age.
Absolutely. I think that anyone who enjoyed word games at any age, and I think actually it's quite educational as well, and we'll be looking at aspects of that in the future to see how we can embrace that. But it forces you, for instance, to be able to spell properly the names properly, because if you don't spell it right, you don't get the points. So you have to learn to spell the names right. So even that sort of thing is good. Good discipline for people, for children, for anyone at all, to make sure that they know how to spell the names correctly.
Okay, as a player, I'm happy, with a smile on my face one day getting Bastian Schweinsteiger and spelling it correctly. Is there one that you actually sat there and thought, well, I invented the game, I'm happy that I was able to answer that one?
Well, I think that I would not have attempted to spell that, and I couldn't even today. I think that's a magnificent effort if you've managed to spell that correctly. I don't know what I've avoided. Anywhere there's a kind of a Frank that's a C or a K, or there's a Francis and there's a Lewis that's an EW, or anything where there can be two kind of versions of it, I try and avoid and take take an alternative and go for an alternative answer.
Well, listen, the final point here, and I think it's down to you on this. How do we get it? That's what everybody wants to know. Tell us, how can you get this game?
Well, it's on every platform. It's on iOS for iPhones. It's on tablets, on Android. It's on Microsoft Windows. Any of the app stores, Google, Microsoft, and of course the Apple Store. Any of them, you go there and it's Puzzler Name Game, and if you search that, you'll find it.